Hello everyone, my name is Matt and welcome back, finally, to this very last episode on the tutorial series on GRIAN'S mansion from Hermitcraft Season 7. In the previous episode, of course, we built up all of this middle section here, the chimney, these balconies here, all of that, and in this episode, we are finishing off this interior room, going all the way up to the very top of the ceiling up here. Now I know a lot of you have been asking about the outside and the two big pits that go either side of the front of the mansion here, and will we be doing those? The answer, guys, is no, we are not going to be doing those big deep pits out the front because Season 7 of Hermitcraft is now well over. It's been a while, and I honestly think I'm ready for something new here. I think a lot of you are ready for something new, so we are going to be finishing off just with the inside of the room here, and there will be one last video which is going to be a terraforming tutorial. That's not really going to be a specific mansion tutorial, so I don't think I'm really going to count that as part of the series. Well, I suppose we better get started, and the first thing we're going to be doing here is we're going to grab some grey concrete. We're then going to come to where the side pillars are here, and above this central one block back from the edge here, we're going to build up with some grey concrete like this to a total height of 12. Once you've done that, you'll have this big tall thin rectangle like this. We're going to come behind that and we're going to make that whole thing 2 blocks thick by building up behind it like this. Next, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks to the side of that. On the 8th block, we're going to place some concrete like that, place 1 more to the side of it and 2 behind so that we make a square like that. Do the same thing going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks on the other side, and then build both of those squares up to the same height. Now that we have those 3 pillars in front of us there, we're going to grab some dark oak planks, and with these planks we're going to place them first of all just there and just there at either side, and just there and just there, and then come to the front of the room here, place 1 like that, and the same at the back here. And now we're going to build up all of those blocks we've just placed to a height that is 3 below the top of these, which should be the same height as these dark oak planks just over to our left. Now between these pillars there are going to be 4 arches. We're going to start with these 2 middle arches, and to start this we're going to take some dark oak stairs. We're going to place dark oak stairs upside down there and there. We're then going to come up to the top, 1 block below the top, place stairs the correct way around like that with a block on top of them, and do the same in this gap here. So that should look like this, and continuing with some stairs now, place stairs like that and then spin around and place them like that, then spin around again and place them like that. Do a similar thing here, so there, and just there. So there's 1 block gap now in the middle of these 2 central stairs, and we're going to again do the same for this one. And now to finish these 2 arches off, on top of what we've just done, we're going to place a block of dark oak planks with some dark oak stairs facing that way. Do the same on this side, dark oak planks, dark oak stairs, and then connect across the top here, 1, 2, 3 blocks of the dark oak planks, and then run a line of dark oak planks along the top like that. And once more, same for this one. Before we move on to these 2 outer arches, we're going to add a little bit more detail to these ones here. We're going to place soul lanterns on top of each of those bottom stairs, and 1 hanging in the middle like that. And we're going to place some dark oak trapdoors, 1 just underneath those stairs like so, and 1 on the edge of those blocks just like that. And one last time we're going to do the same over on this side. Now moving on to these 2 arches at either side, we're going to start with this front one, and it's much the same as these ones. We're taking some dark oak stairs, place them upside down like that and like that, so they both face inwards. Then come up, and 1 block below the top here, we're going to need some temporary blocks here now. So we're going to place a temporary block below that one, so 1 block below the top there with some dark oak stairs like that. And now on this one, place a temporary block on the side of it like that, and these dark oak stairs here are going to be facing in the opposite direction to those ones, so they look like that. And now both of these sets of dark oak stairs, they get a dark oak block placed on top of them like that. Moving up a layer now, we're essentially doing the same thing that we did across here, but because it's on a diagonal, it is very slightly more complicated. So starting from this block here, we're going to place dark oak stairs like that, and then spin around and place them facing the other way on top of that block, and then spin around once more and place them behind there. And then coming over to this side, place the first one like that, and again spin around, place the second one like that. And now for our last stairs, we need to place a temporary block on the side of these stairs that we've just placed, and place our last bit of stairs facing that way, just like so. And then from here, this arch is easy enough to finish off. We're going to take one more bit of the dark oak stairs, place it on top of that one facing the same way as the one you've just placed it on, and on top of that one facing the same way. And then each of these other ones here gets dark oak planks put on top of it, and one last line of dark oak planks going along the top like so to finish that one off. And now a little bit more detail, same as we did here with the soul lanterns. A soul lantern there, and then last one goes under that block just there. And now on this one, we're not actually going to do any of the trapdoors. So that just leaves us with this back arch here. But as you can see, we haven't actually quite finished this back pillar, so we need to finish this before we can put an arch in. So the first thing I'm going to do is around all of this bit here, I'm going to build up all of this grey concrete to the same height as what I already have here. Once I've done that, I'm going to go back to my dark oak planks, and on this block just here, so leaving one block in towards the middle clear of that pillar, I'm going to build up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blocks of those dark oak planks to be the same height as this one just here. And then from here, I pretty much do the same as what I did on this pillar over here. So I'm going to start with my stairs, go there and just there, and then come up to the top here. We are going to go a temporary block there with some stairs like that. And then on this way, facing the opposite direction, temporary block with our stairs facing like that, and a block on top of each. Then for the next layer, stairs on top of there and there, facing in opposite directions, and same over here, so there and there, again opposite directions. And then 2 blocks in the middle here, we need a temporary block on the back of those stairs and on the back of these stairs. And again, we're going to have stairs facing in opposite directions. So this one here is going to be facing just like that, and this one here is going to be facing just like so. And that is that layer complete. And now to finish this one off, we go planks on top of each of those end ones. On top of this one, stairs facing in the opposite direction like that, and the same over here. Then planks on these last two, and a line of planks coming along the top just like so. And then for our detail, again, same as over here, we're not using any trapdoors, we're just putting a lantern underneath that one and on top of each of these two. Now in a moment, we're going to go and repeat all of that over on this side. But before we do, last little bit of detailing we want to do on these pillars here. So we're going to grab our trapdoors, our dark oak trapdoors, place them, whoops, that's not trapdoors. We're going to place them on the bottom like that. Then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on that 5th one, place a sign on each side like that. That's a dark oak sign, and then more trapdoors on the top like so. We're going to do the same over on this pillar here. So trapdoors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 signs, and on the top just like that. And then we're doing something similar on this middle pillar. We want trapdoors around the bottom, whoops, and around the top. And then again, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to have signs going around here, but that middle one, that's going to be a trapdoor, and then 2 more signs to finish us off. And now we can go and repeat everything we've just done over here, over on this side. Right then, that is all of our arches done. And our next step, we can start moving up. We're going to grab some stripped spruce wood, and we're going to go around and place a single piece of stripped spruce wood on top of all of these bits here, as I'm doing, that we've just placed. So place them like this around the edge until we get to that block just there. So as you're coming around from the front there, don't place it on this very last bit of dark oak planks, and go around and then do the same on this side. Once you've done that, switch to some regular spruce wood, so the stuff with the bark this time, and above where all of these trapdoors at the top are, we're going to place it like that and like that. Do the same around there, just like so, on this one and on this one, and again do the same over this side. And then we can come back to the front here, stick a temporary block just there, one block above where we had that stripped wood. Place some stripped wood on the side of it and we can get rid of that temporary block. And then we're going to bring this stripped wood that way until it's above this. And like that. And over on top of that one. And now we're going to zigzag it around the edge of these. So we're forming a line that's one block out from where we had that stripped wood before. So we're going to keep zigzagging this around like so until we get to there. Now we don't want one in this corner here, so we're going to place a temporary block there and then build that across there, break that temporary block. Again, we don't want it in this corner, so we're going to put a temporary block there again now. So we can come back like this, and then as we come across here, we're going to come back across like that until we're on there. Move it around like that, on top of that one, and now to finish off here, we're going to place a few more temporary blocks on top of those three and place our last few pieces of stripped spruce wood on the sides of them like that. So again, just to show you underneath how it looks, we come here, we go diagonally across there, zigzag all the way around here, across there, comes around like that, and then we have our last few bits shown like so. And we're going to now do all of that on the other side here, and also we want this to be too high, so go around here once more and place one more bit of the stripped spruce logs on top of all of them. So once you've done all that, it should be looking a little something like this. And now just quickly to check something before we move on, if you look and move towards the front and then off to the side here, we should have these three blocks here which are just touching the bottom of where our ceiling comes to there, so that's a good sign we're doing everything right. And now before we move on to the last section here and finish off the ceiling, there's a little bit of work we need to do at the back of the room here to connect all of this into the chimney. So to start this off, we are going to grab some more of our grey concrete. We're going to build up at the side here a couple more blocks to bring it to the same height as these dark oak planks here, and a little bit across the back there just to fill in that gap, and go and do the same on this side. Now if you actually look around the back of the chimney, you'll see there's this big gap across the back here, so we're also going to fill this in. Again, more of the grey concrete. So build that up like so to fill in that gap at the back, and again same over on the other side. Now that all those gaps are filled up, we're going to grab some warped stairs, and around here one block below the top of this, we're going to place some warped stairs coming around in like that with warped planks on top of them. Then go to some stripped warped wood, place a couple of pieces going across like that, and some more pieces on top of all of those warped planks. Do that for both sides, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take some more of our warped stairs, and starting from one of these pieces of the stripped warped wood up back here, place some warped stairs coming around and then on top of that wall and across the front of the chimney like so, until we get around to this side, and then back in to the edge there. Then switch back to some of that stripped warped wood and place it too high on top of all of these stairs. Now around the top layer of that stripped warped wood that we've just placed, we're going to take some warped trapdoors and place them all the way around just like this. And then when we've done that, we're going to go back to our warped stairs and place another line of warped stairs. We're going one block out now, bring these warped stairs all the way around like so. Oops. And then once you've done this, we're going back to our stripped warped wood, and we're placing that this time 3 blocks high on top of all of them stairs. Once we've got that, we can finish connecting this up by placing a temporary block on top there with 2 blocks of the stripped spruce wood, with 2 blocks of stripped spruce wood on top of that, and on top of both of those. Same over on this side. And then once you've got all of that, to add in just a little bit of detail around here, we're going to take some warped signs, and we're going to place a line of warped signs around the middle of these 3 blocks, just like this, going all the way around. So now we can move on and get to work on finishing up all the ceiling up here. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to go to these two central pillars which are on either side. At the top of them here with our stripped spruce wood, we're going to build in like that, so we now have a continuous line around the top here with a 3-block gap in the middle here. We're going to take some warped planks, and where these 3 gaps in the middle here, we're going to put 3 blocks of warped planks across like that with another 3 on top so that it's too high. And then from here we're going to go up in a 3-block diagonal, so we're basically going to be building a series of 3x3 squares in the warped planks. So we're going to come out 1 block, build across 3, and that is our first 3x3 square. Then come up and out 1 and build another 3x3, and then we're going to hit this ceiling here so we can build another 3x3 like that, and so on. And we're going to keep doing this all the way up to the top. When you get to the top, you'll have this diagonal line that I've just described coming up like this. This very top bit, there's only 2 blocks here as opposed to 3. So we're going to build up our 2 blocks like that, and then we're going to build this all the way across like so, and then that here will meet up with this same diagonal that we're going to do on the other side, and that will kind of be like our outline of where the ceiling is going. And when you've done that, your outline should look like this. Moving back down now and coming to the front here, we're going to start by taking some stripped spruce wood and just here put them in all these corners so we can turn that into a continuous line, and do that over on this side as well. Then take some warped planks, and to either side of the grey concrete here we're going to build out 3 to either side and bring that up to the same height as the top here. Then in this corner and also in this corner just here, we're going to build up some more warped planks in a pillar until it's 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks higher than this one that we've just built, and that should just touch the bottom of the ceiling like that. Then what we can do is switch to our warp stairs, and we're going to build them across from that pillar in a line just like this until we touch the pillar on the other side here. Then we're going to place 2 blocks of the stripped warped wood on top of all of those stairs, and last of all here we are going to place some warped planks going along the top like so. Moving on, come into the next bit of corner here, and again the same on this side, and build each of these up in a pillar until it touches the ceiling there. And we should now be able to leave 2 gap blocks at the top, so if we build across like this, 1 block above that, we have a 2-block gap just up here. And now moving on to one more corner. From here, what I should be able to do is build this up straight until it touches that next bit of roof. I'll have to break this block just here, which was a temporary block when I was originally building this roof. And then from there, I should be able to follow this corner all the way up until I hit the very top of the roof like this. So I have this diagonal line now running up the inside corner of that bit of roof, and I'm going to do the same over in this corner. Once I have both those corners coming all the way up to the top here, I'm going to connect them across the top with a line of warped planks and connect them into that middle bit there as well. And now continuing to move across here, we can work our way into the side of the roof here by going diagonally from here and building that up until it touches the underside of the roof just there. Should be at the same height as this one. Go one more diagonally and build that up, and that should touch the roof just there. Go one more diagonally and build that up, and it'll touch the roof there. And one last one just in here. That should just be 2 blocks filling up that last little gap. Now my next stage, I want to make sure that this roof looks nice and smooth coming across here. So I'm going to break these 2 blocks, which again, like the ones in that corner, were just temporary blocks when I was building the roof, and I'm going to fill in these gaps here with some dark prismarine. And then I want to connect this up to over here. So first of all, from this bit here, so counting from here, it's 1, 2, 3 bits in. I'm going to come here, 1 block below the top here. I'm going to build that across like so. And now when I'm one block away from here, I'm going to go up and across so that it touches like that. And then once I have that, from this one, I'm going to come out from this block, come across, come down to hide this gap. And then when I hit there, come up again and across into that block just there, and then do the same over on this side. That completes the front of our room, and we now need to sort out the back here. So we're going to start by doing something very similar to what we started with here, and with our stripped spruce wood, we're going to place that in the corners here. So we turn that diagonal into like a solid line, and do the same over on this side. Once you've done that, go back to your warped planks, and we're going to start at this back corner here. So one block away from the edge of the chimney here, we're going to place it in that corner and build that up until it touches the roof, which should be at the same height as where the top of this stripped warped wood is. Then in this next corner, we're going to build that up again just until it touches the bottom of that roof. And we're going to build that in towards the middle by one block like that. And then the next corner, this one, when we build this all the way up, breaking any of these temporary blocks if we need to, we should now be in the corner, so we can follow this corner all the way up to the very top of the roof, like so. And then do the same as those first few steps on this side. And then like we did at the front here, once we've got both of these corners coming up to the top, we're going to connect them and connect them into the middle there as well. And then coming back down here, we're going to go into this corner. That builds up until it touches the base of this one. Then the next corner, it's going to come up until it is 1, 2, 3 blocks lower than that one. And then this is going to be the last one, which is going to build up 2 blocks like that. And we're going to come and do the same over here. So now we've done that, we have this big gap in the ceiling on this side and this side. So we need to fill it in by essentially extending this across. So we're going to go back to our dark Prismarine, and we're going to extend across from where it was on that side. So that is one layer that should just touch the top like that. Then coming down to here, here is the next one, so we're going to build that across. And then coming down here, these 2 blocks here are going to be that bottom one. So we're going to extend all of that across, and then we're going to go do the same over on this side. There we go, I've filled that gap in for both sides, and what we now want to do is essentially mirror this little pattern coming from this side. So we're going to start by going to this block just here, build that across, then up one and let it meet there, and then from here build across, down, across, up and into the middle just there, and again do the same over on this side. Once you've done that, we're going to come back to the chimney here. We're going to place a line of warped planks along the top of that stripped warped wood there, and 1 block above it and 1 out. We're going to build a line coming around like that and build that up to be 2 blocks high. And then from each end of those 2 blocks we've just built, build up 1 and build that across like that, up 1 and across like that, and that should meet this corner at the same place as those do. And then that is all of our outline and detail for the ceiling done. And the last thing we need to do up here is we need to put the big windows that go into the roof. Now I'm going to start with the window that is in the back side of this roof, as this I think is the easiest one. So as you look at it here and you look at the different segments, it's going to start in this segment here. So we're going to come in here, we're going to leave 2 blocks from the edge here, so 1, 2, and then that's where we're going to break out the edge of it, and the same on this side, and then break all of that across. Then in the next segment, we're going to come 1 in at each end, and we're going to do the same for the next 3 segments after this. So you should now have broken out a total of 5 segments of that window. With each segment as you go up, you come in 1 at each end. And now to finish this off, we're going to come up to the top here, break our last 3 blocks out like that, so we've come in 1 at each end again, And now all of those blocks we've just broken, we are just gonna replace those with some grey stained glass like so. Now for the windows that go at the sides here, we're gonna start by leaving a 3 block gap away from this central line. So 1, 2, 3. Whoops. And then we're gonna break out our first block there. And we're gonna break this up to 1, 2, 3, and 4 segments like that. And then starting just here, so 1 block away from the corner here, we're going to break out a 2 block diagonal coming up here. So break out 2 blocks here, then come in 1 and break up 2 blocks, in 1, break 2 blocks, in 1, break 2 blocks, and so on, until we meet the top here, which should leave us with this hole at the top. The very top is 2 blocks wide, and then we can come back down and break all of those blocks that are in the middle. And then we can switch back to our grey stained glass. We're going to fill that in with grey stained glass, and we're then going to repeat it in a mirror image here and over on this side as well. Okay, there we go. That is our windows all in, but the build isn't quite finished yet. There's 2 more things we need to do. We need to put the big chandelier in, and we need to fill in a little bit of the floor down here. So we're going to start with the chandelier, and we'll get on with that now. So to begin this chandelier, we're going to take some polished blackstone, and from the central block of the ceiling up here, we're going to build down 1, 2, 3 blocks of polished blackstone like that. Place a blackstone wall on each of them with soul lanterns like so. And then place 1, 2, 3 blackstone walls with 3 dark oak fences coming down from where that polished blackstone is. From the end of those dark oak fences now, we need to build down with some chains, and we're going down 27 blocks of chains. Once you've built your 27 chains down, we're going to go back to our dark oak fences, put 3 like that, with 3 blackstone walls and 3 polished blackstone, and then around this polished blackstone we have 2 blackstone walls like this on each side with a soul lantern on top of each of them. And now from here, I'm afraid this is where things get expensive if you're building this on survival, as we're using blocks of diamond in this chandelier. Now if you are building this on survival and you don't have an insane number of diamonds, what I would recommend to make this design cheaper, you could use maybe some light blue terracotta, like light blue glazed terracotta might be nice, or even cheaper than that, you could use light blue concrete or light blue wool. Now building this, we're going to start from the center and we're going to be working our way outwards from there. We're going to begin with an end rod just underneath there with a blackstone wall underneath that. Then put a block of diamond, 1, 2, 3, 4 end rods, another block of diamond, 1 more end rod, a white stained glass pane, and last of all, a soul lantern. Underneath each of these 4 pieces of the wall now, we're going to place a polished piece of blackstone with 2 pieces of white stained glass, or white stained glass panes even, coming out from it. From there we place a diamond block on either side of each of the ends of those panes, just like this. And then place a pane on each of those diamond blocks we've just placed, with 1 more diamond block on the inside of each of those corners like so. Place a trapdoor next on top of each of those last 4 diamond blocks that we placed. Then place 4 temporary blocks next to those pieces of this polished blackstone with a dark oak trapdoor on top of each of them, and then break those temporary blocks. So moving down now, we are going to place a chain underneath these 4 trapdoors like so, with an end rod underneath each of those chains. Place a second end rod underneath each of those ones that we've just placed. Then switch to your white stained glass panes. Place one on each side of this diamond block with another diamond block next to each of those glass panes. Now place a pane on either side of each of those diamond blocks that we've just placed, and we can then place another diamond block in each of those corners so that we make a square. Then switch back to your white stained glass panes. Place one on top of each of these four like that, with then one on the outside of each of these panes like so. Now sticking with these panes, we're going to place one underneath each of these two and the same on the other sides, so they join up with these ones below them. And we can then switch to some end rods and place an end rod on top of each of these corner diamond blocks. And with these end rods, we're now going to place one underneath each of these four blocks just here. Moving down again now, we're going to place 4 diamond blocks, one under each of these end rods here, and then put our stained glass panes in the middle of them like so. We're then going to put an end rod underneath each of those. We're going to do the same again with another diamond block underneath each of those, and another piece of stained glass between each of them. Coming around these 4 diamond blocks that we've just placed up here, then we're going to place a piece of stained glass on each side of them and bring each of those pieces down by 1. With some end rods now, we're going to place 2 end rods below each of these corner ones. And then our last end rods, we're going to place one underneath each of these. Now our last stage here before we add some lanterns to this, on this bottom diamond block, we're going to place a glass pane around each side of it. We're going to bring each of those glass panes down by 1, and we're also going to bring each of them up by 1 so they connect into these panes. So that's the structure of our chandelier done, and we can finish this off now by placing some lanterns around it. So placing a pair of lanterns on each side of this top layer like so. Then moving down, a pair of lanterns under each of these corner pieces of glass up here, and then a lantern underneath each of these bits. Oh, and it seems I missed a few end rods here, because there should be an end rod underneath each of these 4 diamond blocks just there, with a lantern underneath each of those end rods. And then our last 4 lanterns here are going underneath these 4 end rods just down here. So that is our chandelier done. And then, as I said, one last thing, if we come over to the side here, there's a big gap in the floor here. So literally all we're going to do here is we're going to grab some stone and we're going to fill in this whole area behind here all the way across to the wall with some stone. That will then mean that this entire interior area is complete and we are finished with this build. And with that floor put in, the mansion is finished. That's it, it's done. So all that is left for me to say is thank you guys so much for watching this and building along with me. I have had an absolute blast figuring out how to build this thing. Let's have a look at the outside of it. I really hope you guys have all enjoyed this as much as I have, because I really have enjoyed figuring out all the different little parts and details of this mansion from Hermitcraft. I am ready for something new now though. So as always guys, if you did enjoy the video, then hit that like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you thought, and subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss out on my upcoming videos. Until next time, I've been Matt, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!